a shadowy figure watching me from a distance. While drifting in the astral plane, I became aware of a tall, dark silhouette standing far away, almost at the edge of my perception. Its outline was human, but there was something unnervingly wrong about it. Its proportions seemed slightly off, like it didn't belong in any world I knew. It didn't move, didn't speak. It simply stood there, perfectly still, as though frozen in time. Yet somehow, I could feel it watching me. It had no eyes, no face, no expression, but its attention pressed on me like an invisible weight. The air around it felt heavy, thick, almost electric, and I sensed that if I stepped closer, reality itself might distort. My instincts screamed at me to turn away, to break the connection, but my curiosity kept me locked in place. The more I looked, the more it felt like it was not just observing. It was studying me, waiting for something. 2. Hearing my name whispered by an unknown voice. Somewhere in the stillness of the astral plane, I heard it. A faint, drawn-out whisper calling my name. It was slow, deliberate, and unsettlingly intimate, as if the speaker knew me better than I knew myself. The voice carried no gender, no age. It was neither warm nor cold, just impossibly neutral, and that made it even more disturbing. It seemed to come from everywhere at once, from the distant void ahead of me, from the darkness at my back, and from deep inside my own mind. Every syllable lingered too long, echoing in a way that felt impossible for sound. At first, I tried to ignore it, thinking it was just my imagination. But with each attempt to block it out, the whisper grew sharper, more insistent. It wasn't just calling my name, it was pulling me toward it, tugging at my awareness like invisible hands. I couldn't tell if it was inviting me closer or luring me into something I wouldn't return from. Feeling pulled toward a dark, endless void. One moment, I was drifting freely in the strange stillness of the astral plane. The next, something shifted. An unseen force hooked into me. Subtle at first, then unrelenting, dragging me toward a vast, lightless opening in the distance. It wasn't a hole in the ground or a tear in the sky, it was simply there, an absence so complete it seemed to erase whatever it touched. The closer I came, the more the air, if you could call it that, grew cold and thin. A deep, bone-deep chill spread through me, not from temperature, but from the unmistakable sense of losing something vital. The void didn't just consume light. It swallowed sound, thought, and even the faint sense of self I still clung to. The silence around it was oppressive, almost alive, pressing in from all sides. Instinct told me that stepping or falling into that darkness would mean losing everything I was. No body, no mind, no memory, just endless nothingness. And yet, the pull only grew stronger, as though the void itself knew I wouldn't be able to resist forever. 4. A distorted, glitching human face floating nearby. Out of the corner of my vision, something shifted, and when I turned, there it was. At first, it looked like an ordinary human face suspended in the air, pale and still. But then it began to break. Its features flickered and warped like a corrupted video file, jumping between frames that didn't belong together. One second, it wore a gentle smile. The next, it was blank and lifeless. Then, without warning, its eyes snapped wide open, far wider than human eyes should go, and its mouth stretched into something that was almost a scream, but no sound came out. The glitches didn't feel random. They were deliberate, like it was cycling through expressions to see which one would affect me most. Its skin shifted in unnatural ways, rippling as though something beneath it was trying to break free. Every few moments, the face would freeze entirely, locking into an expression so unnervingly still that it felt more alive in its stillness than in motion. I couldn't tell if it was a person, a memory, or something wearing a human image like a mask. But deep down, I knew, whatever it was, it didn't belong here, and maybe neither did I. 5. Sudden appearance of dozens of unblinking eyes. Without warning, the darkness around me shifted, and then they appeared. Dozens at first, Then hundreds, maybe more, materializing out of the void, like tiny, glowing wounds in the fabric of reality. Each one stared directly at me, unblinking. Their faint light casting a sickly shimmer across the blackness. They floated at every angle, above, below, behind, and in front, so that no matter where I turned, I met their gaze. Some were small and sharp, like the eyes of insects, while others were impossibly large, wide enough to see every detail in my soul. They never blinked, never looked away, and I couldn't shake the feeling that they were not simply looking at me, but through me, cataloging every thought, memory, and fear I'd ever had. The worst part was the silence. No shifting, no breathing, not even the sound of movement. Just the unbearable weight of being watched by something, or many somethings that felt ancient, intelligent, and utterly alien. I couldn't tell if these eyes belonged to a single, unfathomable entity, or to countless smaller ones hidden in the darkness, and I wasn't sure which possibility was worse. 6. The sky splitting open to reveal darkness behind it. I was drifting in uneasy silence when the astral sky above me shuddered, not like clouds moving, but like something solid straining under immense pressure. Then, without warning, it cracked. Long, jagged fissures tore through the shimmering expanse overhead, glowing faintly at the edges, like fractured glass. Through those breaks, I didn't see stars or light, only a depthless, suffocating blackness. It wasn't empty in the way space is empty. It was a total absence, as if whatever lay beyond was not meant to be perceived at all. Looking into it made my stomach twist and my thoughts stumble, as though my mind couldn't process what it was seeing. The cracks widened, and pieces of the sky began to peel back like brittle paint, revealing more of the infinite void beyond. In that moment, I understood. Everything I had experienced here, the landscape, the light, even the strange beings, was just a fragile skin stretched over something far more ancient and terrifying. And now, that skin was breaking. 7. A cold hand grabbing my astral form. I had almost reached the point where I could feel myself drifting back toward my body, the strange weight of the astral plane beginning to lift. But then, something stopped me. Out of nowhere, a freezing grip clamped around my arm. It wasn't a touch in the physical sense, yet the sensation was so real, so solid, that it sent a shock of panic through me. The cold was unnatural, seeping into me like a poison, not just numbing my arm but spreading through my entire astral form. It wasn't the kind of chill you get from winter air. It felt older, heavier, like the absence of life itself. I whipped my head around, searching for whatever held me, but the space behind me was empty. The grip didn't loosen. I tried to pull away, but the harder I struggled, the colder and heavier I felt, as if something was trying to anchor me here, to keep me from returning. My awareness started to dim, a creeping darkness filling my thoughts. In a final surge of desperation, I tore free, the grip snapping away as I was violently yanked back into my body. I woke up gasping, my physical arm still tingling with phantom cold.